Hey, good morning. This is a video and a playlist. Food pornography. This is going to be on milk and cheese, okay, of the Bible. And the next one is going to be honey, okay? But sometimes milk and honey are like in the same sentence. So I don't want to do it double, but let's see what we got, okay? And I'm just going to read you the quotes where this cheese is located. And if we want to read more of the whole story, we have it right here, okay? Okay, Exodus 3:8. And I come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians and bring them up out of the land unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Okay, and that same sentence, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt, okay, unto the land of the Canaanites, the Hivites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites, and a land flowing with milk and honey. That's also Exodus 3:17. Exodus 13:5. He sware unto thy fathers to give thee a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month. And so shall it be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he sware to give to thee. Okay. Leviticus 20:24, I've said unto you, you shall inherit their land, and I will give it to you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from the other people. Numbers 14:8, if the Lord delighteth in us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Numbers 13:27. They said, we came to the land where thou sentest us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey. This is the fruit of it. Number 16, 13, and 14 says, is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us? Moreover, thou hast not brought us into the land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us the inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. Okay, that's an interesting story, but I want to try to keep it just to the topic here. How about Deuteronomy 6:3? Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, that ye may increase mightily, as the Lord thy God of thy fathers has promised thee, in a land that floweth with milk and honey. I mean, I don't drink cow's milk, but do you think that's cows and bees? Milk? I mean, I drink nut juice from the almond milk. I don't know. I don't drink cow's milk, so I'm not sure what kind of milk these people are talking, but I don't think it's cow's milk, because the cow people are doing some really bad things. There's a video about that on my website, where science meets religion, .blogspot.com. How about Deuteronomy 26:15? Look down from thy holy habitation from heaven, and bless the people Israel, and the land which thou hast given us, and thou swearest unto our father, a land that floweth with milk and honey. Deuteronomy 27:3, thou shalt write upon them all the words of the law when thou art passed over, that thou mayest go into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, a land that floweth with milk and honey, as the Lord thy God hath promised thee. Deuteronomy 31:20, for when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey, they shall have eaten and filled themselves and waxen fat. Then they will turn unto other gods and serve them and provoke me and break my covenant. Okay, so does anybody think that means, send them into the land of food stamps? Because milk and honey are both food stamp items. I don't get food stamps. I don't personally think giving Marianne $5,000 worth of food a year is fair. They should give everybody food or nobody food. Like, come on. How about Joshua 5:6? For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, were consumed, because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord, unto whom the Lord sware that he would not show them the land which the Lord sware unto their fathers that he would give us, a land that floweth with milk and honey. I mean, if somebody promised me some food stamps, then they owe me, I'm 50 years old. They owe me $50, 50 years worth of food. And Marianne's getting $300 a month. So what's $300 a month times 12 months times 50 years? That's what they owe me, I guess. How about Song of Solomon? Thy lips, O my spouse, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under my tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. Song of Solomon, that's SOS 5:1. I am come to my garden, my sister, my spouse. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I have drunk my wine with my milk. Eat, O friends, drink. Yeah, drink abundantly, O beloved. One Corinthians 9:7, who goeth a warfare at any time at his own charge, who planteth a vineyard and eateth not of the fruit thereof, who feedeth the flock and eateth not of the milk of the flock. Hebrews 5:13, everyone that uses milk is unskillful. That uses milk. I don't use milk. I don't use cow's milk. It is not good to eat much honey. So, okay, that's not a milk quote. Hold on. It shall come to pass for the abundance of milk that they shall give. He shall eat butter, for butter and honey shall everyone eat that's left in the land. That's Isaiah 7:22. Abundance of milk that they shall give, he shall eat butter. He took butter and milk and the calf which he dressed, set before them, and stood by them under the tree, and they ate. That's Genesis 18:8. Ezekiel 20. I lifted up my hand unto them in the wilderness, and I would not bring them into the land which I gave them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of all lands. Is this food stamps the glory? Because I'm missing out. I'm hungry. Can you send money? How about Genesis? No, let's not do Genesis. Let's do Isaiah 60. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shall suck the breasts of kings, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, am thy Savior, thy Redeemer, the Mighty One of Jacob. Isaiah 66:11, you may suck and be satisfied with the breasts of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted in the abundance of her glory. Again, that's Isaiah 66:11. You could read the whole thing, but I'm just trying to keep this, concise about milk. And cheese, okay. Cheese is only in there 3 times. Okay, Job 10:10 has thou poured me out like milk and curdled me like cheese. Okay. And then 1 Samuel 17. Okay, so this story, I think, sounds really interesting. I'm going to try it. Let's see, 17. Okay. We got, it was starting at line 18, but I'm going to read the chapter. It's called David Arrives in the Camp. David was the son of an Ephrathite from Bethlehem of Judah, whose name was Jesse. Jesse had 8 sons, and by Saul's time he was old and well on in years. The 3 eldest sons of Jesse followed Saul to war. The names of the 3 sons who went to war were the firstborn Eliab, the second Abinadab, and the third Shammah. David was the youngest. The 3 eldest followed Saul. David alternated between serving Saul and looking after his father's sheep at Bethlehem. Morning and evening for 40 days the Philistines advanced and took his stand. Jesse said to David his son, "Take your brothers this ephah of roasted grain and these 10 cheeses and hurry to your brother's camp, and take these 10 cheeses to their commanding officers." Okay, roasted grain, 10 loaves of bread. Oh, and 10 cheeses to the commanding officer. And ask your brother's health, and bring some token from them. They are with Saul and all the Israelites in the valley of Temerith fighting the Philistines. And David rose early in the morning, and leaving the sheep with someone to guard them, he took up his load and with the cheeses, and he went off to Jesse as Jesse ordered him. He came to the encampment just as the troops were leaving to take up the battle stations, shouting the war cry. Israel and the Philistines drew their lines facing one another. David left the bundle in charge of the baggage guard, and ran to the battle line. And he went up to ask his brothers how they were doing. While he was talking to them, the shock trooper, his name was Goliath, the Philistine of Gath, he came up from the Philistines' rank and made his usual speech, and David heard it. And as soon as the Israelites saw this man, they all ran away from him and were terrified. And the Israelites said, "Have you seen this man coming up now? He is coming to challenge Israel. The king will lavish riches on the man who kills him, and even give his daughter in marriage, and grant his father's house and the freedom of Israel." Then David asked the men who were standing near him, "What reward will the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine who dares insults the armies of the living God?" And the people replied before, "That is how the man will be rewarded who kills him." Now Eliab, the elder brother, heard him talking to the men, and his anger flared up. "Why have you come down here?" he said. "Who left you in charge of those sheep to come out here in the wilderness? I know your insolence and your wicked heart. You've come to watch this battle." David retorted, "What have I done? Must I not even speak?" And he turned away from them to address another and asked the same question. And the people who asked before him, David's words were noted and reported to Saul, who sent for him. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, okay, because we're getting really long, but just the message is David was doing Uber Eats, delivering 10 cheeses to the battle zone. Okay, have a great day.